you see, it was in the summer of 1997 that the government of India and the NSCN-IM had struck a ceasefire agreement. From then on, the Naga peace talks had actually started. And today is the summer of 2022, and we are posing this question whether the deadlock in the Naga peace talks can ever be broken. Now, if we are asking this question, it is only because on the 31st of May, the Emergency National Assembly of the NSCN-IM had adopted a unanimous resolution saying that there can be no solution unless the government of India concede their demand of a separate flag and constitution for the Nagas. Now, what does this mean? This NSCN-IM on its part has very categorically stated that there can be no solution without its core demand. They said that they are sticking to their quote-unquote national principles, and they have made it clear, because this time NSCN-IM cannot go back on their demand, because the meeting was attended by 2,000 NSCN leaders and members. But the question that a lot of people are asking is, what was the NSCN-IM doing in the past 25 years? Why were these issues raised? Were these issues not raised in the last 25 years that the negotiations had taken place? Now, will the NSCN-IM say that negotiations had not made progress during the last 25 years that the talks were going on? A lot of people would also say that yes, there had been a lot of differences which have been resolved during the last 25 years, because the NSCN-IM started their demand with their demand. They started with their demand for an independent Naga nation outside India. They are not talking about that now. They said that they want an integrated northeastern region under one administrative setup. That meant that they want all Naga areas, not only in Nagaland but in Manipur, Arunachal and Assam, within one administrative umbrella. One is not hearing really about that now, and that they are only talking about a flag and constitution. So why shouldn't the government of India accept the demand? So this is also one point of view that has come to the fore. But what NSCN-IM sources close to the NSCN-IM are telling our channel now is that there was a time during the discussions with former interlocutor R.N. Ravi, they said the NSCN-IM sources are now claiming that R.N. Ravi had agreed to regard the Naga constitution or the Yazabo as the Naga basic law. This is what is the NSCN-IM sources claim, sources close to the NSCN-IM claiming now. They say that R.N. Ravi at one point had come to regard the Naga constitution or the Yazabo as the Naga basic law. These sources are telling us that the Naga basic law was to stipulate things like the Naga customary laws, Naga way of life, Naga way of village administration, and so on, and that it was on course to have been incorporated into the Indian constitution. Now this question arises, if R.N. Ravi had indeed accepted the Naga Yazabo or the constitution, giving it a name of a Naga basic law, and was about to incorporate it into the Indian constitution as part of the possible agreement, then why did the NSCN-IM fall out with R.N. Ravi? Why did NSCN-IM wanted a new interlocutor? So these are questions that are being asked at this juncture when the talk seems to have reached some kind of a deadlock. But again the question arises, now that there is a deadlock, now that no one is sure as to when a breakthrough is going to be achieved, the question arises whether the talks need to be elevated to a political level. If we are to look at what the core committee on the Naga peace talks headed by Nephew Rio, what do they want? It seems they want that the talks needs to be elevated to a political level. That is the reason why at their own core committee meeting a couple of days ago, and during their discussions with the NSCN-IM, they raised the issue. They said that NEDA convener Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, who is the Chief Minister of Assam, in his capacity as convener of NEDA, need to be more actively involved in the Naga peace talks so as to give it a momentum and perhaps also take it to its logical end. So in this backdrop, yesterday NEDA convener Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma had a lengthy meeting with the entire core committee at a resort near Dimapur. Now in this meeting, the core committee had urged Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma to apprise the union government that it should uphold the commitments that its interlocutors have made to the NSCN-IM during the lengthy negotiation process. Now, what is Himanta Biswa Sharma saying? Is he going to accept that role? Does he see himself in the role of a facilitator? Now, much as the core committee would like Himanta Biswa Sharma to be an active negotiator, perhaps in a bid to take the negotiations to a political level, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has been extremely cautious in the last few days. Today, this morning, in his first reaction after last night's core committee meeting, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has told our channel that he is not considering himself, he doesn't look at himself as a peace facilitator. He said that is not his mandate. He said that he had never talked about flag and constitution. He said that there is enough room for discussions. There could be roadblocks whenever there is a discussion on a complicated issue, but roadblocks can be overcome, perhaps overcome when the two sides keep talking or keep walking along. So he said solutions can emerge. So now what is significant is that a leader of the stature of Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, a very key player as far as the BJP is concerned in the whole of the Northeast. During the last 6 years that he has been convener of the Northeast Democratic Alliance, he has been able to establish a lot of, he has been able to make bridges or connect with the political leadership in the whole of the Northeastern region. He is looked upon to as someone who will be able to resolve the issues concerning the Northeastern region. So in this backdrop, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma saying that there is room for discussions, there is room for negotiations, a solution can emerge, the roadblock can be overcome. So these are significant indicators. Then he said that even if he has to meet the Prime Minister or the Union Home Minister to talk about the Naga issue, he would like to have Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio by his side because at the end of the day, the Nagaland Chief Minister is the elected representative of the Nagas, elected representative of the people of Nagaland. So in this context, he said that he would like to have Nephew Rio by his side if at all he talks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi or the Home Minister Amit Shah. But the big question is that, like it or not, whether directly or indirectly, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has been drawn into the Naga peace talks. At least he had given a patient hearing to what the entire core committee had to say for several hours in that meeting last night. And then the comment this morning, the first official comment this morning that talks can go on, there's room for discussions and so on, and that even if he meets, he would like to meet with the Nagaland Chief Minister, meaning that he doesn't rule out the possibility of his meeting the central leaders and explaining some of the sticky issues, and might also come up with suggestions on how to resolve some of these issues. But at the end of the day, a lot of questions will be directed both at the government as well as the NSCN-IM, because the talks are not going for 5 years, 10 years. It has been going on for 25 years, and obviously the common Nagas would like to ask, what have you achieved during the last 25 years? Why are such major differences remaining even today? So these are questions that are obvious questions that are being asked. But as far as the other group is concerned, that is the NNPG, nobody is asking questions to them because they have themselves made it clear that there is nothing to discuss anymore. They are ready to sign on the dotted lines. Whatever is the agreed position, they are ready to accept. But that's not the case with the NSCN-IM. So what course the talks takes in the days ahead remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, but as of now, it looks like there is a deadlock, and it would reach a lot of maneuverings by the government of India to once again resume the dialogue and reach a middle path. And the NSCN-IM also has a responsibility to try and reach a middle ground. Unless a middle ground is achieved, the talks are going to remain deadlocked for I don't know when, how long.